Hey everyone, and welcome to the ESL Open Cup number 12 on the Americas server. In the bottom right corner, as the Teal Terran, it's Nylio. And in the top left corner, from both the Platinum Heroes and the Knights of Ren, it's n00bius. Really happy to be your caster here today, guys. And it's really good to see n00bius competing in the ESL Pro Tour. He may be a platinum player, but he has the soul of a grandmaster. Nylio in the lobby was unranked, so we don't actually know what level of play this guy's going to be bringing to the table. Nylio getting a barracks up at the top of the ramp. n00bius going for a hatch gas pool. It looks like both these players want to play straight up. No cheese incoming on either side of the map. Nightshade, I think in Terran versus Zerg, is pretty even. You have a nice mix of choke points, a nice and open areas. You have a nice mix of high grounds and low grounds, but it can facilitate these longer macro games, especially with Terrans tending to favor mech nowadays in this matchup. The Reaper's getting chased down, unfortunately off of creep for n00bius. So when you engage this first Reaper, if you're a little bit of a lower level player, the best thing you can do with your Lings is to keep them on creep. The Lings will actually slightly outpace the Reaper if you're on creep. As you can see, off creep, the Reaper can kite them forever without speed. Nylio is going to have to back off there. He did get his 4 lane kills, but fortunately for n00bius, no drones went down. n00bius will get a full scout off. The Overlord will go down for his services. However, Nylio is going on the attack with some Reaper Hellion. 2 Queens are enough to deflect it at this level. Some Lings are out on the field to help. That was actually pretty well played from n00bius. Getting a significant amount of damage on the forward Hellion means that Nylio does have to back out for now. However, the next wave of attack is going to include a Liberator, so we should see about 6 Hellions try to enter the natural as the Liberator hits the main. This is interesting from n00bius. n00bius has not gone for a third. He is instead going for a lair. This could signal something like a Nidus play. I would say 2-base Muta, but there's already a Roach Warren on the map, so that's going to be a gas sink if n00bius wants to make any roaches, which would indicate something more like a Nidus. Now, he is going to need some more Lings to defend against this coming aggression. Oh, this is smart. It looks like he's going for a wall off at the front, but he needs to pull the Queens back if he's going to do that. Nylio seems a little bit afraid to go in. What he doesn't know, though, is that n00bius does not have an adequate amount of Lings to defend this. You need about 16 to 20 Lings to defend this Hellion pressure from the Terran. n00bius gets some great shots off on the Hellions, but the Queens are out of position to block. There are 2 to defend in the natural. They won't be able to DPS this down in time to save the drone line. This is going to be a very juicy shot if lined up correctly. Unfortunately for Nylio, it's not. There's still opportunity to pick off a couple more drones. In fact, 2 more exactly will go down. Oh, maybe many more. Uh-oh. No, Zergling, fight! Don't be a coward, Zergling! All the drones are going to go out thanks to that Zergling's cowardice. He will get fried as well, as are his just desserts. Nylio is gearing up for a bio-tank push, so we're not going to see the latest of games here unless n00bius can hold this very well or goes for a Nidus attack, which actually should be hitting right about now and could totally tear this Terran apart. n00bius is instead going for Roach Speed. Now, this is a little bit of a dangerous play for the Zerg. So, Roach Speed can go. Well, so Roach Speed can work against Terran, but it needs to be on the map quite a bit sooner than we're seeing here from n00bius, and Bio scales very, very, very well against it. So if you're going just Roaches, Roach Ravager can work, but you need a huge amount of it to go up against Bio, and you need to have the economy to continue replacing the Roaches that are getting fried at the front. We can see here as well, Nylio is going to have 1-1 on the field, which is really going to help shred those Roaches even faster. And of course, Nylio should be following this up with +2 shortly thereafter. A nice play from n00bius, gets one of the tanks. They're actually 2 tanks against what n00bius has right now could allow this pressure to continue, but as n00bius's army supply continues to rise, with that defender's advantage, meaning he can rally units to the front faster, this attack is going to dwindle a little bit. Nylio is just going to be scanning and pushing back some creep tumors. Friendly fires his Marine to pick off that tumor, but tanks are shelling from the high grounds. n00bius does have his Queens pulled into the mix, though. Queens can be very effective at eating tank fire. However, he does have his Ravagers grouped up next to the Queens, so while this was a great idea, in theory, in practice, the execution just wasn't quite there. Nylio stimmed in the right places, pulled back enough to save all his Marines. He has lost a ton of medevac energy, so 2 functional medevacs on the field. n00bius is making a last-ditch defense. GG is called, and Nylio will take game number 1. In the bottom left, as the Teal Terran, it's Nylio, and in the top right, as the Orange Zerg, it's n00bius. So, as I said before, we don't exactly know Nylio's current MMR, but I'm guessing it's around Diamonds, maybe low to mid Diamond, certainly not Masters, not an insult whatsoever. He is seeded pretty well against n00bius here, because that was a closer game than you might expect. Just a couple different decisions there from n00bius. And it could have gone totally the other direction. If we have any mods in the chat, can you ban the follow-in bot? Thank you. I'm actually... Sorry for the viewers, I'm gonna alt-tab and ban it right now. Look at that. Wow. So Nubius going for a hatch first, once again, an honorable macro Zerg, if there ever was one. Nylio, in the previous game, went for a pretty solid bio-tank push after some early Hellion pressure. First mule has been dropped. He is stimulating that Terran economy. Factory is going down for Nylio. I think we're going to see a very similar build from him this game. It's pretty hard to deviate from something when it's already won you a game. When I play in tournaments myself, it's very hard for me to win a game. I have some very specific builds I use against opponents, and it's very hard for me to win a game and then switch the strategy, even though that might be the optimum thing to do, because the loser of the game is usually going to be the one switching up their approach to how they're taking on their opponent. You know, obviously, it's much easier to go, oh hey, that didn't work, I should probably change what's going on here. Whereas the winner might actually really need to change something dramatically. He might have won just because his opponent slipped up or didn't macro well or was jet lagged or whatever. But in game number 2, the loser can adjust and totally defeat the strategy that he lost to in the first game. Let's see if Nubius can pull that around this time. Nubius drops the Baneling Nest at the front. He does have link speed on the map. His 2 queens are positioned at the front of creep, so that's a very easy deflection for the Nubius. Nylio is rallying forward some more Hellions. He is going for stim behind this, so it is just going to be these 6 Hellions pressuring on Nubius. Nubius, I think, needs to get this third out much earlier. It should be finishing in a few seconds here, and it's just being dropped. He does have many more links to defend. A lot of them do get shredded down, but... These queens doing very significant damage. 3 Hellions will hit the mineral line, though, as the Liberator enters. This is pretty hard to micro against as the Zerg player. The Queen gets leached into the Liberator range, but there's been enough damage dealt. The Liberator gets picked off in the sky. 7 drones have fallen here for Nubius. 13! Ooh, 13 drones go down. However, all 6 Hellions and the Reaper get picked off as well. Nubius definitely comes out for the worst in that trade. But at least it wasn't a total loss. Blair is about to finish for Nubius. But he didn't really utilize it in the last game. He did get Roach Speed, however, just like last game, Roach Ravager doesn't scale the best against these. If you're going to have Roach Ravager, you really need to make it more Ravager, Ling, Bane. That's the more effective style against Bio. The Banes force the Marine out of position, or, to put it more in favor of the Zerg, they force the Marines into position so you can hit them with the Bile, get surrounds with the Zerglings, and really pin them down as the Ravagers put in damage from behind. And of course, it's always a bonus if you can connect those Banelings. Baneling speed is on the way, so that could be an option for Nubius. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any scouts on the map, so he's not going to be able to see this push coming in. And he also doesn't have any Banelings on the field, so he's not going to be able to connect with the Marines too easily. A lot of the Lings go down. Nubius is down to 18 army supply. He does have quite a formidable bank, but he spent them on Lings instead of Roaches. 5 sets of Lings will go down at the third as soon as they pop. There's pretty much no escape here, unless the Broodlings cover for them. No, the Broodlings get picked off ahead of time. Nylio playing very conservatively. Nubius is going for a macro hatch, as well as retaking his third down. Well, I guess this was supposed to be a fourth. But nonetheless, he's on 3 bases. Nylio lost absolutely nothing for taking down that third base. I don't think a single Marine died. And he's going to be going into 2-2, which is going to be very hard for Nubius to engage into. 1-1 is about to hit the field for him, but his +2 is going to hit quite a bit later. Nubius takes a 4th base. It's a little bit late at the 9-minute mark. But of course, you know, this was the intended 4th base, and it was much more timely. Nylio is pushing onto creep. Nubius needs Banelings. He has them, but he can't engage into the tank line. No! Ooh, a huge volley goes off, picking off some of the Banelings. Nylio is trying to bait Nubius into the tank fire. The good thing for the Zerg is this Terran Strike Force is not threatening anything. It's not hitting any hatcheries, it's not hitting the Evo chambers, it's not hitting the Baneling nest, it's just clearing up creep, and that means Nubius has time. He has time to get reinforcements onto the map, to spend his bank and even things up. Unfortunately, his economy is a little bit lacking, 44 to 84 workers, so Nylio definitely has the advantage going in here. He's waiting for armor plating to hit the field, which it will in just 6 seconds. 2-2, still not on the field for the Zerg. What is Nylio doing? He's backing off. He disengaged. The tanks get swarmed from behind. This is a nice play from the Zerg. There's nothing to anchor this force here, and a lot of Marines go down to Banelings. Nubius rolls forward. What a reversal of fortune here. The army supply all of a sudden is evened up. Even more Marines come in from behind and go down. Another tank is going to get picked off here. Nylio is on 4 base, and he does have a planetary to fall back to, but Nubius might be back in this game somewhat, a little bit. There's a chance, there's a glimmer of hope. Nylio, however, lands in the Zerg's main and picks off 13 drones. He will get cleaned up here by Nubius, but that's another huge hit to an already minuscule Zerg economy. Nylio is doing very, very, very well in this game. He's going for 3-3. And continuing to replenish his bio supply. He's also going for a fusion core. This could be 4 battle cruisers going into the late game. Nylio is once again setting up a siege. This is like the Bernie Sanders meme. He's like, I am once again asking you to leave the game. For what is most unprecedented Terran push in our nation's history. Nubius is trying to rally a defense, but Nylio is maxed out with 3k, 2k in the bank. GG is called. Nylio takes the series 2-0.